with a former champion expected to make his AEW return and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for April 14th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Part of the Lethal Lovers tag team with Humberto Carrillo, Angel Garza recently talked to Wrestling Inc., where he noted the wrestlers must leave behind everything when joining WWE. I think WWE is a different world. When you come to WWE, you've got to change your style. You've got to change everything. You've got to know how to talk in a microphone. You've got to know how to perform in front of cameras. You become a superstar. It's like a weird word to use, but we're superstars, but we really are. When we were in the indie world, we were doing matches 25, 30, 45 minutes, always killing ourselves. Then wake up the next morning and go do another 35-minute match. I think right now we are becoming those superstars we dreamed of. If you put on the table and compare both worlds, it is hard. I'm trying to teach those guys, hey, you've just got to calm down. You can be a superstar just using this. How can I call it? Platform. We can use the platform in a good way and protect your character, and that's it. With Cody Rhodes making his return to WWE, he would defeat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and recently beat Miz on Raw. While he is set to face off against Rollins again at WrestleMania Backlash, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast that Rhodes could be the one to beat Roman Reigns for the unified titles. I don't see why Cody can't take the title off Roman in the meantime. Roman can easily get it back by the time WrestleMania come back around. There is definitely a lot of stuff to be able to, switch that back if that's the route we're going to go in. If that's the route they're thinking, I suggest yes, we go that route, The Rock versus Roman, because it's money. I hate booking matches, but for me, this is a case of giving the fans something totally different and unique. We've talked about it, and there's no way we cannot give the people exactly the story is written, just because a lot of people want to see that Cody beating Reigns for the title. It was also reported yesterday that Cody Rhodes is the number 2 babyface on Raw behind Bobby Lashley, according to internal documents. Yet Ringside News would report that weird something interesting about the backstage list where Cody is now the number 2 babyface. Those rosters are updated daily by the writer's assistants. The list is a good reference, but it is not an accurate look inside the company. Nothing is official until approved by Vince. During his time in AEW, MJF has become one of the hottest stars in pro wrestling. He is seen as controversial, especially when it comes to his promos. AEW commentator Tony Schiavone revealed that MJF concerns him sometimes, recalling this instance on the Rob Brown show. MJF is like, well, he's out of his mind. They were chanting one night about his religion being Jewish, and he said something about Jesus Christ. When he said it, I remember thinking, he is out of his freaking mind. I went backstage and I went, why would you say something like that? He said, did you hear what they were chanting about me and my religion? Yeah, but stop. He concerns me. Talking on ad-free shows about Vince McMahon taking the stunner from Steve Austin at Mania 38, Kurt Angle revealed what went wrong in this sequence. The thing is, his timing was just plain bad. You could see Vince had no idea when to jump. He didn't know when to go down, up, and down. He just thought you'd go up and down. With Austin, he didn't expect the boot to the gut. He just thought he was going to stun him. So when Steve booted him, Vince went to his knees. Steve had to pick him back up, and he tried it again, and Vince backed up into the ropes and bounced off the ropes. It was like a disaster, man. I just wanted to get it over with, because he knew from the beginning it was going to happen like that. Despite the sloppy stunner at WrestleMania on McMahon, Steve Austin apparently felt happy with his match against Kevin Owens at the event, as Jim Ross noted on his podcast that he and I talked going into that thing and we communicated on Saturday after the show. He seemed to be really happy and almost relieved that they pulled it off. He and Kevin Owens deserve a hell of a lot of credit for what they did. To show you what kind of ballplayer Austin is, he hadn't been on that field for 19 years or something like that, and he didn't look like he missed a step. They kept the match in their lane. I thought that was really smart how they strategized and laid out that match. It was just absolutely a masterpiece in my view, and Kevin Owens deserves a lot of credit as well. You gotta have a dancing partner to make these things work, and Steve had a great dancing partner. During AEW Dynamite last week, FTR would defend their newly won ROH World Tag Team title and the AAA tag belts against the Young Bucks. This would be their second match, with Nick Jackson telling Sports Illustrated that this bout was not supposed to take place last week. It wasn't supposed to happen until later this month. We wanted to ride the momentum of the FTR versus the Briscoes match because we knew they'd have a classic, and we convinced Tony to let us have it in Boston. The one thing that put a small damper on the first meeting was having it during the pandemic. We always knew we wanted to do a rematch. It was just a matter of when and how, and we knew it had to be a packed arena. I knew the match was going to be great when FTR's music hit, and they were the most over guys in the building that night. Everything clicked from there. After defeating Sami Zayn at WrestleMania with the help of his friends and a giant mousetrap, Johnny Knoxville said on WWE's The Bump that he is willing to return to the company. "I would love to come back anytime. I hope it's not the last time you see me. Man, the last 4 months have been insane. From the Royal Rumble all the way to WrestleMania. It's pretty great. I was looking at my old outfit, it's in the closet today, going, remember when I used to be a wrestler? There really is a lot of wrestling WWE fans out there. Especially among my friends, it made me happy that so many people are such big fans. It was one of the best experiences in my life." With Warner Media and Discovery merging, we saw the debut of Satnam Singh on AEW Dynamite last night. This is due to the fact that Discovery owns AEW's TV partner in India, where they pointed out on Wrestling Observer Radio that it's basically the same thing WWE did with Jinder Mahal. They're trying to do something for India. AEW has a television deal with Eurosport India, which is owned by Discovery. So now that Discovery is merged with Time Warner and they're putting their people in charge, AEW decided to run, or Tony Khan decided to run, an angle to build up the India market. So that was the whole deal there, to put Singh and Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt together as a group, and I guess really promote Dutt, who can speak the language, and Singh, who can speak the language, and really get into promoting the brand in India. So that was the reason for the end of the show. It was very interesting because essentially his debut was so similar over the years to so many giants that WWE has used, from the Great Khali and Giant Gonzalez, and you can go right down the list almost. It's the same basic push that they all get. AEW President Tony Khan revealed he will be making an announcement on Dynamite next week, as Dave Meltzer said in The Observer what this will pertain to. On the show, they announced that Tony Khan's going to have another major announcement on Wednesday, so we're going to have a week of speculation of what this could be. Whether it could be, they didn't say a new signing, they said a major announcement, so maybe this is the streaming deal that's been talked about. Maybe it's something to do with Ring of Honor, as far as some sort of broadcast deal for them. We'll have to wait and see. He is signing guests for Ring of Honor, so he's got to be pretty confident he's going to be doing something with them. I guess that could very well be what it is. When it comes to AEW's upcoming video game, Fightful has reported that it is coming out sooner than expected. As they said, there was a tentative internal release date for late September for AEW's upcoming console video game. We were told that there was plenty of work to be done then, but that the plan has long been for the game to release this year, and that September is widely regarded as the target as of now. After suffering a horrendous arm injury during Dynamite in January, Rey Fenix has been out of action, but is expected to return to the ring soon. The Observer would say that they have a deal with AAA as far as the belts, and the belts going back to AAA. By the way, Fenix did an interview today and said he would be back for Triple Mania, which is April 30th. So we should be seeing Pentagon and Fenix back as a tag team in AEW within a couple weeks now. So yeah, it's going to be Fenix and Vikingo, because Penta is doing a singles match on the show for his mask, not for his mask in the mask tournament. So it's Fenix and Vikingo against the Young Bucks in the main event for the Monterey version of Triple Mania. Apparently not all were happy with Satnam Singh's AEW debut on Dynamite, as QT Marshall talked on Busted Open Radio about the negativity surrounding this. Satnam Singh, he's 1 in a billion. He was the first ever Indian-born NBA draftee from India, and he's really special. I'm excited that they got him out there, and obviously I read some of the stuff that people were saying about him. Listen, he's brand new. You gotta give him a chance. I think the best way to put someone out there is to put him out there with guys with a lot of experience. Nobody knows what he's going to do. It's not like he's going for the world title right now. He's probably got an inch or two on Shaq. His hands are just huge. I mean, no offense to Samoa Joe, but he's got a pretty big head, you know? His hands almost covered his whole entire head. It was a pretty cool sight to see. After Roman Reigns told the Usos to bring him the Raw Tag Belts, it seems we're going to get a match to unify the Raw and SmackDown Tag Championships. The Observer would note that the Raw Tag Champs RK-Bro will be appearing on the blue brand for this as well as next week. Ideally, this bout will come together at the upcoming Backlash pay-per-view, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. When giving her thoughts on the return of Cody Rhodes to WWE, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champion Sasha Banks told NBC Sports which AEW stars she would like to see come back to the company. Well, I wasn't backstage when he came back, so I can't tell you what the backstage reaction was for that, but it's so cool. I'm such a big fan of the Rhodes family. Dusty Rhodes has given me everything, laid the foundation for me, so just to see the Rhodes back in WWE, it's so cool. Next, let's bring back Goldust. Let's bring them all back. Dean Ambrose, you want to come? Let's go. The more the merrier. Let's do it. I would love to see Ruby Riott back in the WWE universe. Yes, absolutely. That's one of them. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.